Heavenly Father, as we come before you this day, we pray that you might rightly divide your word of truth and learn from it what you teach. We pray that you would guide and direct us always. In Jesus' name, amen. Announcements for today and throughout the week. Wednesday will be the first Wednesday of the month, so there'll be potluck at Oak Lawn Church on it. Who's in charge?
Barb and Erica.
Oh, actually, well, move away from those. But,
I want to talk about
oh,
our contest.
all right.
That's an announcement.
Yeah, next Sunday, regular hours of service, Sunday school at 9, worship starts at 10. And next Sunday is the first Sunday of October.
Which is when we're starting our contest in our Sunday school classes.
What?
So it'll be question, discussion, and potluck next Sunday.
What is it? Contest?
So I'm going to tell you really quick,
Okay.
interrupting his stuff.
No,
This is the grand prize, and I've decided if more than one person actually completes it, we'll have to put the names in a pot and then everybody will get something. But this has some, I showed all the kids, well, not all the kids, but some of the kids in Sunday school. It has some candy in there, a Subway gift card, some body spray, WD-40 was a big hit. A couple of other things I can't remember. WD-40! That wasn't Megan that was excited about it either. So in the month of October, this could be done all at once. It could be done every week, but there's a memory verse for every Sunday in October. Some of the kids knew them already. If you want to tell me after church, I can get you checked off. And also all the books of the Bible. It's very doable. And Megan and Daniel are in part of this contest too, because I think that, I said, you guys better watch out for these two, because I'm pretty sure they're right in the running with you. So I have these sheets, I'm gonna give one to each mom, and then I'm gonna cross off. You got to tell me personally, Mason asked if you could, do a recording and send to me. No. You can tell me in person.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it in front of a bunch of people, but we need to start really memorizing and getting things in our brains, and I have on the top of this, it's our new message outside of autumn, time to fall into God's word. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Whoa.
my goodness.
Oops. I guess it fell.
We didn't need an object lesson about it.
What?
Let's turn to hymn number 502. Oh, wait, something else. Where'd it go? There's activities planned. We plan on having a work day, and we thought about this, and I think it'd be a good idea to have a work day and a sleepover on the same night.
That way we're all here. I don't know what everybody thinks about that, so
Sleepover Friday night or Saturday night?
Saturday night.
And
So
wake
then we're
up-
here for Sunday.
Right. On October 27th or November 10th would be days that we should think of that.
I looked at the dates people have sent me, and those two seem to be the most open. So,
Yeah.
does everybody, do we just want to aim for one of the two?
Yeah, just get one.
Let's do October 27th then.
What, were you gonna have a birthday party? Do some work outside and things like that. So October 27th? And there won't be any particular time, but you can show up as soon as you can in the morning and bring your clothes and sleeping bags and everything. If you need to sleep overnight, sleep overnight, and then the message the next day will have something to do with what we did that day.
Yes.
Quarterly conference is coming up on November 4th. What else about November 4th should we remember? You get quite right.
Clocks.
Clocks.
Clocks,
What day?
November
It's the
4th.
same weekend as quarterly conference. The
Always is.
daylight savings is done that day.
We don't come to church till 10 that day, right?
Right,
It'll be at the Oakland Church.
and be at the Oakland Church. Sunday school at 10, not 9. Worship service at 11, and then lunch, and then following lunch will be a board meeting.
And the most important thing that day, of course, is David's birthday too.
Oh, no.
We're wondering about when the nativity program will be. It'll be December 8th or the 22nd. So we've got a little while to decide that, but we should try to get in mind when that's gonna be.
I'm
The 8th, because I'm rather.
Hold up. December?
Yeah,
That's a Saturday.
Oh, oh, well, the day after that then. Sorry, I was looking at,
23rd then.
okay.
So the 9th.
9th or the 23rd.
we could aim for the 9th, and then the other one could be our makeup if we have bad weather.
Okay. There you go, that's a good idea. Once. And then our food drive. There's more food up there than there was before, and we need to continue the food drive. We have no idea who we're gonna give it to, but we need to bring food for our food drive. If there are no further announcements of that nature or anything like that, let's turn to hymn number 502. Change in the twinkling of an eye. Sing out! Are there any more September birthdays we haven't covered already?
Yes.
I think,
It was yesterday.
I think,
Yeah, Lexi's was yesterday.
Okay. Huh?
Who else is September?
it was this, oh, those
Wait a
are-
minute, we have like two little
Hey,
kids.
the other Septembers can go
Yeah,
up
you two
too.
little kids go up there.
Yeah, both of you.
It's not.
they've been up already, but.
Hey,
Come on, Megan.
every year.
So I guess that was all planned. Time for praise and prayer. We need to pray for one another. That's something we should remember to do all the time. The elderly, the worldwide brethren, the evangelists, travelers. Evangelism, it happens even in the United States or in close countries because Saturday morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's very early. Larry and a bunch of people, including my sister-in-law Donna, went to Canada, Alberta, Canada, to visit some other Philippine people that they know up that way. So talk Bible with them, things like that. So it's interesting that evangelism happens. It can happen right outside your own door.
This is an update on Ella, or I guess what happened with her. September 4th, she was admitted to the hospital with what turned out to be an infected gallbladder that leaked into her stomach cavity, causing her to be septic. On that day, her blood work was fine, and thinking it was the flu or something she ate, they released her. As they were waiting with her for the wheelchair, she began shaking with chills and her stomach ache started really badly. She set a record for a release and readmission of 11 minutes. The doctor immediately called infectious disease and put her on their best guess for an antibiotic. She stayed and they ran tests and they operated the next night at 5:30, warning them that she had less than a 40% chance of making it through. And the surgeon said he was very nervous because the scans didn't even indicate what he was facing. They just didn't know what they're dealing with. She came through with flying colors, although there was so much gallbladder sludge he couldn't tell if he got it all. He filleted her duodenum to getting it up with a balloon to get the rest out of her gallbladder. As he was doing this, he had to put a stent in the pancreas, which is very touchy. Also put a stent in her bile duct to the small intestine. The next 2 weeks, the infectious disease came on big time with a mix of antibiotics and the nephrologist working on getting the kidneys functioning again. The gastrologist who had done the procedure monitored her, and the 3 doctors are the best in their groups and very seldom are on call, let alone at the same time, so that's a praise. Her liver acted up until she was literally yellow-orange. Her pancreas turned into acute pancreatitis and was very ill, but made a miraculous recovery in over 14 days. They moved her to a rehab facility to get her strength back late afternoon on Wednesday the 19th. Got a call early Friday morning saying her blood sugar had been low, but orange juice fixed it. The morning before, she woke up with 104 temp, and then she had a kidney infection and had to go on an antibiotic.
Is that teen?
No, it's female.
Oh, teen,
That's
okay.
the granddaughter.
There's
Okay.
granddaughter.
So this is all happening at the same
All
time.
at the same time. Okay, the granddaughter, sorry. I was like, what does that mean? Teenager. Ella. Okay. And then she also woke up with horrible pain running front to back on her right side, went to the ER. I'm skipping over some of this. They stopped for a sugar-free latte on the way home, on the way there. Within 2 minutes, she started telling me she couldn't see and slurring her words. They turned to the coffee shop parking lot, she slammed on the brakes, and she got, Margot was right. Margot came around and she was completely like unconscious.
Is it still Ella or teenage?
The teenage,
Teenage
yeah.
Ella.
Okay.
They put in 2 IVs, chest compressions, took a blood sample. It wasn't a heart attack or stroke, but she passed out from sugar levels at 28.
Oh, that would have been Ella.
That was regular Ella.
That was regular Ella.
It was?
Yeah, cause she's diabetic, or has been.
She should.
She mixed, Margot just typed it, or did it as she wanted, I think.
It was all mixed up. That's
Yeah,
why I
Okay,
was
well, it says
confused.
teen Ella on that one, so.
It could be her blood sugar is low too,
Okay.
but both of them are in,
There's more
doing
later
much
on.
better.
There's more. Anyway, she's doing a lot better.
Yeah.
And then
She was
last,
readmitted back to the hospital again, Ella was.
yeah,
The pancreas issues, pancreatitis.
yeah. And then last.
They've been
in
there
the
22
hospital?
nights.
Yeah,
She's in the rehab. Or she's in the rehab place now.
She is now. She had to go back to the hospital for rehab, and then she went back to rehab again.
It says, if you haven't fallen asleep, please say a prayer for her because she's not out of the woods yet, but we're hoping. So very long time, so I
yesterday,
skipped a lot.
Nancy received a phone call. Tell us about the phone call, Nancy.
What'd you say?
Tell us about the phone call you received yesterday.
I got a phone call from Ella Cromby yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
She was in the rehab center, and she talked for a while, and then she says, oh, I'm getting so tired, I have to quit. So then, and she had called a whole bunch of people. She was at the rehab, and just calling everybody around. I couldn't believe it.
But she's letting us know that everything is fine with her. I mean, she's getting better, so.
Yeah, forward with those.
Okay.
So that's something we need to keep in our prayers.
Do you, Chandra, do you have Margot's address? We could send her stuff?
I
Yeah.
do.
Oh,
Or
mom
if you do.
does, there are cards up here too, if anybody wants to take cards.
She went to the hospital at least 7 more days after she was in the rehab the first time. So that was the 7 days plus the 21 or 2.
There's many other people mentioned up there.
I know Sam goes in for sentencing or whatever this month, so.
Yeah, the 23rd, I think, or something like that. Ed Bender is out in Washington right now. And Mimi is still at home, I guess.
Yeah.
Nancy is recuperating nicely.
Yes.
That's good. And, oh, Eddie Thomas, yeah, that's the guy that fell from the ladder.
He's doing really well.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And we could even think of somebody like that if it makes sense for a food drive.
Yeah.
Great.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Having them have it. We
Yeah.
still have, I don't know, a couple, 1 or 2 kids at home maybe. Sammy or
They
Sam.
have 2 for sure, but I think the daughter, I don't think the daughter.
I think she's back.
How about praises?
I can't believe it. She doesn't, she's near them, I know that much.
Yeah.
What about praises? You got any praises?
It's been exciting having our sign up so we can do different messages, and if anybody wants to do a
Yeah,
message,
I
you can
like
feel
the-
free.
I like the font it has. Yeah, I like how.
Therapist said she's doing better than the average person.
We always knew she was above average.
Huh?
We always knew she was above average.
Well, yeah, but
Well, I had talked to a friend of mine about your knee replacement, and he said he talked to a friend of his who had a knee replacement, and he said that is the most painful recovery that you'll ever go through, even shoulder, anything else
I
is
can believe
as painful.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I know.
the rehab and everything for that is.
Yeah. Bending of the knee See, it's been 3 weeks since I had the surgery this last Thursday. And when I went in for therapy that day, Friday, the bend of the knee was at 120%. And they don't expect, 120 to 125 is high for a total knee replacement. So I'm already at the one, I'll probably go a lot higher than that, but it's going fast.
Good.
Still have the pain,
Any other praises?
so not too bad.
I think it's a beautiful day. I don't care what it's doing outside. The weather's beautiful. Let's bow for a word of prayer. And Andrew, can I ask you to lead us in prayer, please?
Dear God, thank you for everyone that was able to come today. Be with everyone who needs your help and guidance. Forgive us for our sins. Be with everyone who traveled here today and is traveling throughout the world. Be with us as we go on with our week. In Jesus' name, amen.
Matthew chapter 3, verse 2. I have several different translations here. Chapter 3, verse 1 says, "In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea." So this is who it's talking about. "And saying, Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." And I thought, well, I know what that means, but I wonder if we can find other translations that might help. So International Standard Version says, "And saying, Repent, because the kingdom from heaven is near." Easy to read version says, "John said, change your hearts and lives because God's kingdom is now very near."
Kenny, what verse is it again?
Matthew 3, verse 2. Darby Bible 1889 says, "And saying, Repent, for the kingdom of heavens has drawn nigh." Contemporary English says, "Turn back to God, the kingdom of heaven will soon be here."
You wanna know what this one says?
Just a minute. Weymouth New Testament says, "Repent, for the kingdom of heavens is now close at hand." And what's that?
That's almost like this one. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is near.
Okay. Now, you have to ask yourself, well, what did John mean? The kingdom is close. It's very near. Close at hand. The word Basilia, Basiliah, properly royalty, that is, rule or a realm, a kingdom, a reign. Basilius, Basilyoce, is a sovereign king. Let's look at John chapter 2. So he's saying the king and the kingdom are near. Who was he preaching about? Who was John talking about at this time? Wasn't he talking about his first cousin? Who was that? Jesus. The king and the kingdom are close. Now, the first 11 verses of chapter 2 of John talk about, well, this is the beginning of miracles did Jesus in Cana of Galilee and manifest forth his glory, and his disciples believed on him. That's chapter 2, verse 11. This is the first of doing the miracles. What was the first miracle? Turn water into wine. It's called wine here. I look at it as a good grape juice. What was his second miracle, do you know? Let's look up John 4. Verse 46 through 54. So Jesus came again unto Cana of Galilee, where he made the water wine. And there was a certain nobleman whose son was sick at Capernaum. When they heard that Jesus was come out of Judea into Galilee, he went unto him and besought him that he would come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. And Jesus said unto him, Except ye see signs and wonders, ye will not believe. The nobleman said unto him, Sir, come down ere my child die. Jesus saith unto him, Go thy way, thy son liveth. And the man believed the word that Jesus had spoken unto him, and he went his way. Now, going down, the servants met him and told him, saying, Thy son liveth. Then inquired he of them the hour which he began to amend, and they said unto him, Yesterday at the 7th hour the fever left him. So the father knew that it was the same hour in the which Jesus had said unto him, Thy son liveth. And himself believed in his whole house. This again is the second miracle that Jesus did when he was coming out of Judea into Galilee. So the first miracle was, a few water and wine. But the second miracle, Jesus healed a young boy. I like that when if you went up to somebody and said, pray for me because my son is sick, and they said, okay, do you think they would walk away from you and know that the son would be better when he got back? But this man believed in Jesus. Now this is the second miracle. That's interesting. It didn't take much to get that man to convert. Let's look at Matthew 4, verse 23. Matthew 4, verse 23. And Jesus went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people. Matthew 9:35. And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. Matthew 21, verse 14. And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. Luke 9, verse 6. And they departed and went through towns preaching the gospel and healing everywhere. And verse 11. And the people, when they knew it, followed him, and he received them and spake unto them the kingdom of God, and healed them that had need of healing. Jesus healed many people. Let's look at Matthew 9 again. Starting in verse 18. There's quite a few things that happen here. While he spake these things, verse 18, while he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler and worshipped him, saying, My daughter is even now dead, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. And Jesus arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. For she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. But Jesus turned him about. When he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And when Jesus came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, he said to them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. But when the people were put forth, he went in and took her by the hand, and the maid arose. And the fame hereof went abroad into all the land. Verse 27, when Jesus departed thence, 2 blind men followed him, crying, saying, Thou son of David, have mercy on us. And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him, and Jesus said unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this? And they said unto him, Yea, Lord. And he touched their eyes, saying, According to your faith be it unto you. And their eyes were opened, and Jesus straightway charged, saying, See that no man know it. But they, when they were departed, spread his fame abroad into all the country. And they went out, behold, they brought unto him a dumb man possessed with a devil. When the devil was cast out, the dumb spoke, and the multitude marveled, saying, It is never seen in Israel. So, we see a ruler's daughter is brought back to life. A woman touches him and is healed. 2 blind men receive sight, and a demon is cast out. And you're thinking to yourself, why? Why was this all happening? Last week, Chandra talked about the different festivals. And these festivals were to be done every year, but they actually pointed forward to a time when, what were they? Jesus returns. The second one is
Well, leading up to it, so the repentance, and then his return, and then when God is abiding with us.
judgment. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the judgment, sorry.
Let's look at Mark 8. Mark 8:22 through 25. And he cometh to Bethlehem, and they bring a blind man to him, and he sought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. When he had spit on his eyes, he put his hands upon him and asked if he saw aught. He looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. After that he put his hands again upon his eyes and made him look up, and he was restored and saw every man clearly. Luke 4. through 35. And in the synagogue there was a man which had a spirit of an unclean devil, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Let us alone! What have we to do with thee, thou son of Nazareth, thou Jesus, son of Nazareth? Boy, thou Jesus of Nazareth, art thou come to destroy us? I know thee, who thou art, the Holy One of God. Even the demons knew Jesus. And Jesus rebuked him, saying, Hold thy peace and come out of him. When the devil was thrown in the midst, he came out of him and hurt him not. John, chapter 5. Verses 1 through 9. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now, there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. And In these lay a great multitude of infinite folk, of blind, halt, withering, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, after the bubbling of the water, stepped in and was made whole, whatever disease he had. And a certain man was there which had infirmity 38 years. 38 years. He was not walking. And when Jesus saw him lie and knew he had been now a long time in that case, he said unto him, Wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, saying, Well, sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me in the pool, but while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed and walk. And immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. That was a no-no. He was working on the Sabbath. Why did Jesus do all these things? Why did Jesus do all this healing and teaching? It says in Matthew, he taught the kingdom of God. And he healed. Wasn't Jesus kind of giving a hint of what it would be like in the kingdom? Let's look at Revelation 7, verse 17. Revelation 7:17 says, For the Lamb, which is in the midst of the throne, shall feed them, and shall lead them into living fountains of waters, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Revelation 21, verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Isn't that interesting? Have we ever wondered, okay, somebody that I love died, are they going to be in the kingdom? How am I going to feel if my own wife or my own kids or my grandchildren or something of that nature, what if they're not in the kingdom? That is why it's such a blessing that I have nothing to say about that. That God will make the decision. And in the end, God will take away all tears, all worries, all sorrow, everything. We won't have any sorrow. Be no reason to sorrow. We're living forever. Do we want to be part of that glorious kingdom? I can't hear anybody. Do we want to be part of that glorious kingdom? Can I get an amen for everybody?
Amen.
I want it for all of us. And I want you to want it too. I want you to think about it and to really desire it. The kingdom of God. Let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Verses 24 through 28. 1 Corinthians 15, 24 through 28. Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom of God, even the Father, when he shall put down all rule and all authority and power, For he must reign until he hath put all enemies under his feet, and the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. For when he hath put all things under his feet, but when he hath said all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. In other words, he's saying, not God, but God gave me power to do this. Verse 28, and when all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that God may be all in all. That God might be all in all. 1 Corinthians 15, 51 through 54. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, the trumpet shall sound, the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall put on incorruption, this mortal shall put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Do we want to be part of that? Didn't we sing about this in number 502? We just sang about this. Let's look up 2 Timothy 4 through 8. I'm sorry, 2 Timothy 4, 8. Second Timothy 4:8. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all of them that love his appearing. Do we love the appearing of Jesus? I think it would be wonderful for Jesus to come back any day now. When will it happen? When will David, do you know when Jesus is going to come back? What, don't you study the Bible? Somebody studies the Bible, tell me, come on, somebody that really reads the Bible, tell me, when will Jesus be back? Tasha, when will Jesus be back? You don't know?
When his father
That's what it
decides.
says. Doesn't say.
Nobody knows, except for God. So don't feel left out. I'm going to take it on you, Dave. Or even your mom. But if we love his appearing, no matter whether we die or we're alive when it happens, we will have a crown. James chapter 1. Verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life that the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Do we love God? Everybody's just going to sit there again?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yes. Hopefully that's why we're here.
Do we love his appearing? Do we love God? Let's look at Revelation 2. Verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried. You shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Do we want a crown of life?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We love Jesus' appearing, we love God, we want a crown of life. Let's look at Revelation 22. verses 1 through 5. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it, on either side of the river, there was a tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. There shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. And there shall be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Lord giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. Do we want to reign forever and ever?
Yes.
So we love his appearance, we love God, we want the crown of life, we want to reign. So let's turn back to 1 Corinthians 15. There's so many verses I could have used. I wanted to pare it down here. What verse do you think I'm going to read now? I'm guessing. It's got an 8 in it. 58, the last verse of this chapter. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. Why? For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Whatever we do for God through his Son is not empty. Does God's word return to him empty? No. Never does. Does anything that you do for another person out of love, does that ever return to God empty? No. We had a lesson on that this morning. What's the greatest commandment? John 13:34, is it? Okay, let me make sure I'm right. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. I don't think that's a new commandment, is it? Because from the beginning of time, that's what the whole thing was. Love. Our labor is not wasted. And I capitalize N-O-T, not wasted. No matter what we do for God. What did I say in Sunday school class, you people that were here? What should doing good for others be in our lives? First nature. It should be our first nature. Not our second nature, our first nature. Let's turn to hymn number 514 and close. The kingdom is coming. Let's stand for singer, may stand for prayer following. part of that kingdom. We want to wear a crown of righteousness. We want to reign with Christ. We want to be part of that kingdom. Help us, Father. Help us do what should be done in our lives. Forgive us for our many sins, for we are sinners and do need your forgiveness daily. And receive us in your kingdom, your will. And help us, Father. Help us to be brave, to talk to others, and tell them about your Son and his truth. In Jesus' name.
I could say this one right now. Yeah.
Hey David, can I be doing me a favor, please?
Can you turn that on?